Hi everyone, I'm Flannery Winchester, Communications Coordinator for Citizens Climate Lobby, back with another media tip of the month. While we don't know when it's going to happen, at some point a bipartisan bill for carbon fee and dividend is going to be introduced in Congress. On that happy day, getting our message out to the media will be a critical part of pushing that legislation forward. So for now, let's touch on 3 things we should be planning for and working on. First, a local press release. Next, an editorial endorsement. And finally, an op-ed. Let's take a look at the press release. Hopefully, we'll be given a heads up from the sponsors of the bill about a week or so before it's introduced. One of the things we'll do then is prepare a national press release. From that, we'll create a local press release template for you to use. It will look something like this, with fill-in-the-blank areas that are highlighted. You'll take the template and put in your local information, perhaps inserting something about the impact of climate change in your region. When the local press release template is finalized, it will be available to download on the Take Action section of CCL Community under Send a Press Release. The link to the press release will be right here. Once you've filled in all the blanks, including a local contact for your chapter, you can send it out to local media. So who should you send the press release to? To help you out, we've compiled lists of local media contacts for most chapters. These lists are not exhaustive, but they provide a good place to start. You're also welcome to add any contacts that you've already made. You'll find the media lists here on this same Send a Press Release page. Just click the Resources tab, and you'll see a link to local media contacts there in the second bullet. The lists are alphabetized by state. Sending a press release to these local contacts could help generate a news story about the bill or even about your CCL chapter. Now let's talk about editorial endorsements. This is the most highly leveraged media we can produce. For years, we've been training our groups to request meetings with editorial boards of newspapers with the aim of generating editorial endorsements for carbon fee and dividend. We've generated dozens of endorsements, which is really incredible considering that we don't yet have a bill being considered in Congress. When we do get a bipartisan bill introduced, it will open up the floodgates and the editorial endorsements will come pouring in. To assist in making this pitch for an editorial, from time to time we distribute media packets that tie into whatever is happening in the news related to climate change. The most recent one we sent out was about extreme weather events like Hurricane Harvey that are made worse by climate change. When a bipartisan bill is introduced to price carbon, that will be the big news surrounding the media packet, and we'll make that available when the bill is introduced. Our media packets are posted on our main website, and there's a link to them that you'll find at the bottom of our homepage, right there. So how can your group be a part of that effort? I recommend that you assign one volunteer in your group to spearhead the editorial pitch. There are 2 ways you can approach this. As early as you can, go ahead and start meeting with the editorial boards to brief them on our proposal. Tell them we're optimistic that this will be introduced as bipartisan legislation sometime during this Congress. And when that happens, we would love to see the newspaper endorse this bill. If the paper is open to that, then later on you can forward our media packet to a contact on the editorial board with a request for an endorsement. We have several resources to guide you through this process. One is a recording of a webinar about meeting with editorial boards. The other is a short media tip of the month specifically about getting a meeting. You'll find both of these videos on CCL Community by going to the Take Action page and clicking the Meet with an Editorial Board link. Okay, now let's talk about op-eds. If you can't get an editorial endorsement, a great secondary request is for the newspaper to publish an op-ed from CCL. This can either be an op-ed that you or one of your volunteers has written, or it can be an op-ed from our executive director, Mark Reynolds, that we'll distribute when the bill is introduced. If there's someone in your group who's a good writer, go ahead and ask them to start drafting an op-ed as if the bill has been introduced. That way, all you'll need to do is tweak it with any necessary changes or specifics when a bill actually comes out. You can find resources for drafting and submitting op-eds on CCL Community's Take Action page by clicking the Write and Submit op-eds link. So,
If you have any questions or need support for your media activities, always feel free to contact me at flannery@citizensclimate.org. That's FLANNERY at citizensclimate.org. That's our tip for this month. We'll see you next time.